Hey, what is going on there YouTube? This is Game Guy and today I'm bringing you to a sort of continuation of a video that I made midway during the fall-winter season. So basically it is a comparison of the fall-winter 18 seasons to the spring-summer 18 seasons. Now I left it off at sort of midway so that I didn't make a too long of a video at the end of the season overall. So the first one was about 25 minutes. I'm going to try and make this one between like 15 minutes or like 10 and 15 minutes. If I can get under that, I'll try to, but I usually go into a lot of detail explaining items, which I need to stop doing as much. Like the previous video done on this sort of comparison, I'll be using Supreme Community. The link to that will be down below in the comments section. If you don't know which comment it will be, I'll just like throw a little thing over the screen of the sort of comment that it will be left under. But yeah, other than that, let's get straight into this. Okay, so like I said, I already went through the sort of comparison. I believe it was in October when we were like 10 weeks into the season so that I could do a 10-week and then 10-week comparison. However, fall winter only had 9 weeks, whereas spring summer had the 10 weeks. So the final week will sort of be left at an end. But if you don't know, the sort of comparison that I did last time to sum it up was that week 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9 and 10 went to fall winter 18 and 2, 5, 6 and 9 went to spring summer 18. 9 is repeated twice because I said that they were sort of at an even standing point with the items that were included, so it left it at an even point. But overall it'd be like 6.5 to 3.5, or you could just call it as like 7 to 4, which doesn't like add up overall for 10 weeks, but that's the sort of way that I went about it. So overall, fall winter 18 was dominating. Now let's move into these weeks. Like I said, the Supreme Community link will be down below. We're going to go through the items. I'm going to go a bit faster than I did last time, as I took a lot of time last time. I will give my sort of opinion because obviously it's opinions on the weeks. And yeah, let's get into it. So obviously week 11, this week was the week where it had the US exclusive Stormy T. But the piece that I picked up from this week was the classic script beanie. Overall, it wasn't like an awful week, but it's not exactly the most exciting week, to be honest. Compare that to the spring-summer 18, I actually think that this week might be better than the fall-winter one. There are only like 6 items, then again, like these sort of top 6 that I can see that are really decent or that are good. However, of that sort of amount, I just think that they're the sort of better items. See, this is a difficult one for me to sort of look at because there was this two-tone zip-up jacket that dropped. And for me personally, I really did like this jacket. So it's a difficult one for me, but after looking through it, there are only really 6 good items from this week. So I'm going to give this one to the fall winter. As always, comment down below your opinions because they might differ to mine. But I believe that this week goes to the fall winter because there are a couple of pieces that I did like. The top 2 I will just avoid looking at, but I would say with the hoodies and the pocket tee and a couple of other pieces that were included, this can go to the fall winter. Because the spring summer week did have a lot of not so great items, is the best way to put it. This one looks like it's just going to be a slide through for fall winter, because I don't know whether or not spring summer is going to be able to top this week. Obviously is the week of the box logo beanie as well as the Air Force One low, the CDG one. We then had the Keytron folding knife come out, as well as a couple of hoodies, a collaboration as well, and the unseen magnetic kickstand light, which I did pick up as well. Comparing that to this week, oh my god, okay. That is actually a difficult one. So the spring-summer week was the Fox Racing week. Overall, apart from the Fox Racing items that were released, I don't think there are any items that are overall amazing. I did like the tapestry on the back of this, but it just didn't sell too well and the piece wasn't great overall. But I would probably say like the top 8 items from this, maybe the logo piping or pipping half zip is included in that. But I would say generally the Fox Racing collab and the bandana track jacket. Comparing that to this though, I mean a box logo beanie and the shoes and the accessories and things do give it a high standing. However, the Fox Racing collab was really decent. So I don't want to be biased at all, but I probably will be because I've had the sort of opinions of going through all of the seasons. But personally, I'm aiming or leaning towards the fall winter week just because I don't know, personally I just think it's a lot better. You have a collaboration as well, like the Fox Racing one, but you also just have a couple of other items thrown in that improved the week. This is difficult. I would call it a draw, but I don't want to call a draw, so personally I'm just going to call it Fall Winter, but Spring Summer is also just like head to head, so yeah, I think Spring Summer could probably take this one, but I'm going to be biased and just say Fall Winter. Okay, moving on to week 13. Week 13, the main highlight for the sort of fall winter season are pretty much like the accessories and the hats and the tote bag that was released for this week. You could also include a couple of the jackets, hoodies and crew necks that came out. But overall, the highlights are like the top 5 or 6 items. In comparison to the spring summer, you have a range of items that are pretty decent, as well as ones that people did like quite a lot. There was this court half zip pullover that was dropped or released as well, that I'm sure was like an unseen item that was released that went down extremely well as well. Apart from that, they did release the sunglasses, which at first people were sort of hyped to hear about sunglasses, and then when they saw them, that opinion dropped quite quickly. Personally, I picked up the gradient arc top from this week. Overall, it's not one of those massive highlight weeks, but I would say that it wasn't a terrible week. Comparing it to this week though, I mean, personally I am tempted to give this one to spring summer because there are a lot more items that people wanted to buy and did buy in the end. I mean, this week did include a lot of quite decent items that did pretty much all sell out, I believe. Every single item except for a couple of them sold out, and even some are reselling for more than what they came out for. But yeah, I am going to give this one to Spring Summer. So week 13 goes to Spring Summer 18. I feel like Fall Winter could take it, but I just believe that Spring Summer did better with this week. Moving on to week 14. For Fall Winter, you had a couple of accessories come out. You also had the Blessed bundle release as well. Apart from that, there are a couple of items that people did like, but we also had the Timberland collab, which did not go down so well. Comparing that to week 14 of Spring Summer though, I don't think that Fall Winter is going to stand a chance, just because of the pure fact that the pinball machine dropped this week. As well as that, we did have the Champion collab and the Alphabet vase or vase that got a cease and desist, which made its price like rocket up. And then they re-released it or got some sort of licensing with it and were able to release again or allow it to go out again. But yeah, obviously as well they did have the Clarks collab this week, so they both had a shoe collab that did not go down so well. This week easily goes to the spring summer season. There's just no doubt in my mind that this just spring summer, like this week was decent, I agree, but spring summer just takes it easily. Okay, week 15 and week 16 as well that are coming up. These are just going to be easy weeks in my mind personally. So we have the better North Face collaboration, the part 2, which is just one of their best for a good, I'd say, the past year. Maybe not overtaking the mountain parka or the sort of mountain theme, but definitely going head to head with it. This week overall was really decent, and there weren't a ton of bad items. There were a couple, but in general it was a collab week and it went down extremely well. So comparing that to the spring summers week 15, we did have a couple of items from this week that are doing well at this current point in time. We had the Martin Luther King as well collaboration that came out, or the sort of pieces with Martin Luther King on them. The main highlights I would say for this week are probably like the top 5 items. My brother picked up the speaker, I picked up the landscape hoodie. I sold the landscape hoodie a couple of months ago, which I believe now if you were to sell it on StockX or some other places, you can get about £350 to £400 for it. So it's a very up and going hoodie. It's like continuously going up in price. You also had the split anorak drop, which was really decent as well and well received. But personally, I don't think this has anything on the North Face collaboration. So Fall Winter takes this week. Moving on to week 16. Again, I just don't think that this is going to have like any sort of comparison. For the Fall Winter season, you have the box logo crew neck, you also have the reflector camel down jacket, you have the balaclava, and then you just have the counter pieces to some of them and a couple of not so great items. For the spring summer, you have the Zippo restock, which got the most votes on this, but overall you had the sea line pouches and you had the North Face collaboration, the snake skin one, which we all know how that sort of went down as a sort of aftermarket side. So personally, I don't think this is any comparison. Fall Winter takes week 16. I just don't think that the spring summer season can keep up with that week, so yeah, full winter is just going to take that with ease. Okay, week 17. Again, I don't know how good the spring-summer season is going to fare against this, because you're sort of reaching the end of the season where Supreme have to put out the majority of their lookbook items that are left over. So for this week, we had the Santa Cruz bike come out. We also had the Parker. We had the throat drops come out. We had the Santa item. As well as this, we had the winter tees and a couple of other pieces drop. We also had the Marvin Gaye collab. So yeah, overall this week, I think nearly every single item that I was looking at sold out in the end, so it was a very good week on terms of items selling and going. Comparing that to the spring summer, you had the Nike Air Spectrums drop. As well as this, you had a couple of other pieces come out, the Pocket Samurai, which I got for my brother's birthday, but overall not so great when you're comparing it to the full winter season. I remember some of these nylon water shorts have gone up in price. I don't know whether they're still up in price, but I remember at the time they actually rocketed up in value, as well as the rain shirt went up at the time. Overall, there's no real sort of comparison in my mind, and I'm just going to give this week to the full winter season again. I just don't think that some of these weeks can just hold their own against it, and yeah, personally, only like the top 6 items would probably be needed just to top this week. So yeah, that is full winter's week. Currently, the full winter season has taken 3 weeks in a row, in my opinion, and I don't know whether they're going to be stopped, because week 18 was the Stife Bear release. Comparing that to the spring summer season, actually, I mean, it can give it a good shot. So comparing against the Stife Bear, you have the hand axe that was released. As well as this, we have the whole sort of Spitfire collaboration that came out. Overall, apart from the Spitfire collaboration, there aren't really many amazing items. You do have a Vans collab that came out during that week as well. And then this was an unseen tank top that dropped that week too. Personally though, scrolling down the full winter week, comparing it to the spring summer week, you do also have the champion piece. You have the scarf, which I picked up. You have a couple of pieces that aren't amazing, and they also released the Blessed DVD by itself. Personally, I am tempted to give this week to the spring summer season, just because a lot more of the items have more likes across the board in comparison to the full winter season. It doesn't matter how the items sort of flew or went instantly, it's more of the side of how people felt about it and how I feel about it. And personally, if I was going to compare the two, I think that this week goes to spring summer, because it was just received better when the drop list went out across the board. You just have way more likes and obviously a lot more items, which gives more variety, but that's not the point. It just has a lot more likes across the board, which I think just wins this week for the spring summer season. Personally though, I could just say that just because the bear that full winter takes this week, but I don't know. It's very difficult to compare the two personally. Moving on to the final week of the full winter season, which is obviously week 19. This week was obviously highlighted by the gloves that were released, however they did not sell out completely. The Polotech headband and a couple of other Polotech pieces, as well as the Camo Trooper, and that is pretty much the main sort of highlight for that week. In comparison though, these were the summer tees that were released for the spring summer season, and personally I do not think that the full winter season can keep up with them, just because of the fact of it being the summer tees week. As well as this, you got the breathalyzer keychain, you had a couple of other pieces come out, but overall the main points this week were the summer tees that were released. So in my view, I don't think that the full winter season can take this week from the spring summer season, so this week will go to the spring summer season. Mainly because personally I really did like the tees that they released, and you had a good opportunity to pick up more than one tee. I still regret not getting the mustard colourway in this tee, but oh well, you win some and you lose some when you go for these. So yeah, that week goes to the spring summer season. Obviously there is no comparison for the final week of the spring summer season, so the spring summer season wins this week because I can't compare it to any other week. Overall, if I was going to compare out of, it would be 19 in this case, but I'll say 20. The spring summer season takes at least 8 if not 9 of those weeks. However, the full winter season takes 11 of those weeks. Specifically for full winter, they take week 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9 and 10. However, 9 can be a sort of 50-50 between full winter and the spring summer season. Moving on to the latter part of the season, weeks 11, 12, 15, 16 and 17 go to the full winter. season. However, week 18 could also be debatable for that. For spring summer, in my view, I think they take weeks 2, 5, 6 and obviously join on week 9. Week 12 is a sort of mix, but overall I gave it to the fall winter season. Then spring summer takes weeks 13, 14, 18, 19 and 20, and like I said, 18 could be a sort of mix between the two, but I think that the spring summer season just edged and took that week. So that is going to cover this video. If you enjoyed, a like would be much appreciated. Other than that, give me your opinions down below if you'd like to. Obviously, you can give your comparison of the spring-summer season to the fall-winter season. What do you think was better in each season? Which weeks do you think each season took? Or which weeks do you think I might have got wrong? And which season do you think was better overall? Obviously, this is also going to be my summary for the fall-winter season, which I think personally was extremely good. We did have some highs and lows. Obviously, the first North Face collaboration was not the best in the world. It sort of had its spike of profit and then the prices just sort of died out. But in general, we had a lot of decent items that did release. There are a lot of bricks from the season, obviously, and a lot of items going for retail at this point in time. But throughout the season, there are a couple of pieces that have peaked above retail and are doing quite decently. So yeah, all I can say is that I look forward to the spring-summer season, and then moving on from that, the fall-winter 19 season, but that's looking ahead of myself by like 8 or 9 months. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, a like would be much appreciated. Tomorrow's video, because I want to get some videos going out day after day, I'm going to upload tomorrow as well, which should be the top 10 items with the most profit from the season. I wasn't going to do a video about that, however, a couple of people requested it, so I will be doing it. So yeah, that is going to cover this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, like would be much appreciated. Other than that, subscribe if you are new. I think we're at like 7,550. So I apologise for the lack of uploads, but I am trying to just get some uni assignments sort of out the way and finish, so that I can then give a sort of 50-50 split of attention to this and attention to my uni course. But yeah, I will see you tomorrow for another video. Peace.